I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars. I've been spending a lot of time lately looking at car adverts, because as we have covered...
lately?
Just lately. Well, obviously forever, but more so of late. Because I am looking for a new trusty steed. It's always tempting for us, it's always tempting to try and get a Bond car, isn't it? But of course, you can't just go for the obvious choices because, the old bank balance ain't going to let you do it, is it?
Yeah, you're not getting a DB5, mate. Sorry.
You're certainly not. No, those really have gone bonkers. But of course, there are lots of others. There are lots of vehicles in which our favourite secret agent has found himself over the decades that are not so silly. And
this is true.
I've got a bit of a list.
Okay. Before you fire into it, are you rigidly adhering to cars that Mr. Bond has been in, or would you consider villain vehicles as potentials as well?
I would consider those absolutely as potential. My particular list only contains cars that Mr. Bond has himself been in, not necessarily been at the wheel of, but has been in. But no, I think if it features in the movie and it can be had for not silly money, then I think it's fair game.
Okay, okay, that's fine then.
But as you say, you're not. There's nothing with an Aston Martin badge on it. There's nothing with a Lotus badge on it.
No.
But there are lots of other choices. Yes, there are lots of other choices.
Are these in any particular order, or just
no particular order at all? Completely
as
random.
they fell out of your head. As
they fell out of the carefully arranged knowledge, filed and neatly labelled in my brain. Yeah, it's how it happened. Yeah.
Okay. What fell out first?
Google was not required to build this list, which is slightly disturbing. First thing on the list is actually a car that is on my buying shortlist, which is the BMW E38 7 Series.
Yes. Well, it's going to accelerate to the top of anyone's list, really, that, isn't it?
Well, it is, isn't it? It never gets far from the top. From Tomorrow Never Dies, I should clarify for the listener.
Very good. But it's not obscenely priced, as we discussed in your potential vehicles. It's quite a timeless design.
It is very timeless design. Now, to get the exact one as badged in the movie, 750. Those are quite rare and still quite pricey. I wouldn't consider the 750 as such an affordable Bond car. No, but there is some doubt over whether the one in the movie actually was a 750 anyway. And they suspect it may even have been a 740 or a 730. So,
yeah, I think what we're looking at for affordable is anywhere ranging from the 728 up to the 740, isn't it? Really,
I think so. The 750 is probably stretching things to call it affordable.
Yeah.
But BMW E38 7 Series generally very affordable if you're not too fussy. Now, if you wanted to make a sort of Bond car replica, obviously you need one in, I believe it was Arctic Silver.
Very good.
And you need the just the right alloy wheels. I don't know what they were called. Actually,
I don't know what they're called, but they're the only ones that you should put on those.
Yes. So if you happen to have one that doesn't have those on, then the wheels need to be swapped. And preferably the black interior, although a lot don't have a black interior. But if you're looking sort of at the 728 where those start, I mean, $2 or $3 grand will get you a reasonable one now.
It's a big comfy car, isn't it? It's a lot of car for a couple of grand.
A lot of car for a couple of grand. It really is. Yeah, 2001 vintage will get you a 728i for $2 or $3 grand. Yeah, like you say, that's The force is strong with those.
Yeah, it's just a good car.
I think so.
And
Um,
the fact that it's a Bond car can just really just adds
oh,
to it.
bonus, isn't it? Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely bonus. Even if it isn't, Bob on the same spec as the one in the movie. But then, movie cars often are not the spec that they appear to be anyway.
no,
Because they usually have a few of them, and a lot of them are going to get destroyed. So as long as it looks about right, they're not too fussed if they
that's
get
right.
them all the same. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I know we said this is in no particular order, but I really think that could be number one.
yeah, yeah. Looking at what else I've got on my list, it is probably the strongest contender. Although there are a couple of others that would make it up high on the list. Yeah, started strong with that, perhaps, but I think the E38 7 Series should appear on anybody's affordable Bond car list if they are shopping for that sort of.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, right. Well, I'm gonna come up with one that's probably less obvious, I'd say. Uh,
Okay.
and having done no research, I'm assuming they're affordable. I mean, you can never tell with cars that are getting slightly older whether they go on silly money, but I really doubt this one has.
Sometimes you do get an aberration, don't you? And you think,
Yeah,
why on earth is that selling for that?
and that's it. Yeah, like I said, I've not looked up any ads or anything. This is out of the brain.
All right,
But
I'll get eBay at the ready. Don't worry.
okay. And I was thinking the Audi 200 from
Yes.
the Living Daylights.
Yes, I'm not sure what they're going for either. I'm just trying to see, and there actually aren't any.
None
Um,
for sale.
None for sale at all, which would
Mm.
suggest they've either all disappeared or they are now absolutely stupid money.
I can't see them being stupid money. I just wonder if they've just all disintegrated.
I think they might. Yeah, I can't find a single one.
Hmm.
Um, so they may have all gone. I mean, I have to say, I don't remember seeing one for quite some time. It's
No.
not even. It's not even on the list of possible choices on Auto Trader. There we go.
you
It's not. You can't search for it. It's not even on the list.
got to think. Maybe. I mean, even at the time, do you think they would have been big sellers?
Maybe not. No, maybe
Hmm.
not. I found an Audi 100, which was similar.
Bit
Um,
smaller, wouldn't it?
yeah, from 1991. And that's up for 2 grand, but that is the only one.
Okay. Well, if we can use that as any sort of gauge, that's in the realms of affordable, isn't it?
It probably is in the realms of affordable if you can find one.
Yes. Okay. That's
Now, there were two, of course, in the Living Daylights. There was a saloon,
there
and then
was.
later in the movie, there was an estate.
That's correct. Yes.
Yes, Bond
Because
in an estate car.
that's true, isn't it? Because the right in thinking the saloon wasn't his, actually, was it?
No, the saloon. No, he sort of borrows it off Saunders, the other agent. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, he takes that. The estate is his, although we sort of assume it's a hire car.
Ah, yes, because that's when he's in Africa, isn't it?
He's in Tangier, yeah, and
Yeah.
he knocks over a pedestrian with it.
It's
Um,
yeah, just a minor bump. It's fine.
just a little nudge there on the pavement. If you look closely in the movie, it is
Yeah.
there. Yeah, he bumps into an extra. Um,
You can imagine him just get terribly, terribly sorry.
yes, he's in the beige linen suit, and he's got it all going on there. Yeah, Mr. Dalton at his finest there. But
And
yeah, the fact
Rose.
that they gave him the estate version later on, I think was lovely.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, you think Audi were doing a bit of product placement there? Do you reckon?
I think there were. They didn't
Yeah.
quite overshadow the Aston in that film, but there is,
Hmm.
of course, another appearance of what would be an affordable Bond car, although Bond himself doesn't go anywhere near it. But there is a Series 3 XJ briefly seen in that. I believe the Minister of Defence is chauffeured in it.
Right.
Um,
Okay, yeah. Yeah. I know the bit you mean. Yeah.
hmm. at the Bladen Safe House, and
Not
but Bond
particularly
doesn't go
safe.
anywhere near it. And it didn't turn out to be. No, indeed.
Well, actually, reasonably unsafe.
Reasonably unsafe with those exploding milk bottles. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
There's a Series 1 Range Rover in that sequence as well.
There is. There's a Daimler there as well, isn't there?
There is, yes,
Yeah.
one of those big old things. Yeah, but Bond doesn't go anywhere near those, so they don't qualify.
No, this is true, and I don't think we can class those as affordable either. Even if he had gone near them.
Well, you can get a Series 3 for an affordable price, but you probably don't want to. Same is true of the Series 1 Range Rover, actually.
Yeah,
you don't want a cheap one anymore.
No, they're going to be similar problems.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, right. So,
right. Okay. What's next?
What's next is we're sticking with the 80s for this next one, and it's one that gets chosen a lot when people do affordable Bond car lists. But it is
you know what this is.
You know what this is. We are going with the Alfa Romeo GTV6 from Octopussy.
Yes. Well, we can all see it drifting away through shot, can't we?
With Mr. Moore pretending to be at the wheel. Yeah, absolutely. And it's gunmetal grey paintwork and it's tartan seats. It's all going on. Yes. It is actually a really good driving sequence with that car. It works really well, being chased by the German police in their BMW 5 Series. Works really well.
It does indeed. They are absolutely tremendous. It's a good, like you say, an excellent sequence.
Yeah.
And just, what a car. What a car.
But
it does bring into question what is affordable. Because I get the feeling they've gone up a bit.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Let's check. Let's check, because I haven't researched the prices of these cars.
Okay.
But you could be right.
I could be right, yeah, because you might be able to get a ship box, I suppose.
Well, you probably could have any of these, to be fair. Right. Yeah. Again,
Gone?
this is not gone, but more. Yeah, perhaps on the rise. Yeah. There's one here which is a 1986, so actually slightly later than the Octopussy car, but obviously same shape and everything.
Yeah.
That is up for 27,000.
Good heavens.
So not horrifically gone, but you're probably beyond what we would term as a kind of throwaway affordable. Yeah, I could just pop out and get one of those.
Yeah, that's you really have to consider it.
You really got to consider that, and probably build up and save for a little while. So not impossibly unaffordable, but yeah, on the go, I think. Yes.
Okay.
I'm wondering if that's the only one I can find, actually.
Well, they're not going to be in plentiful supply, are they?
That is the only one I can currently see advertised. Yeah, it's very nice, actually. It's silver.
I'm going to have a wild punt and say that won't be in this country.
That is not in this country. You're quite right. It is in Italy.
There you go.
Yes, you're right. That was very good.
Yeah, so
that's a left hooker, but it does look very tidy. So yeah, those I would suggest you could term still affordable, but they're going. I think
it's on the cusp, that one.
Yeah,
okay,
it is. Yeah, it is. But still a strong contender. Again, not Bond's official car. He stole it, but it is used in a wonderful sequence. And yeah, I think definitely worth considering if that sort of money is affordable to you. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, there's one that I've thought of, which I think you and I will unanimously agree that while it is an affordable Bond car, we probably don't want it.
Okay. I wonder if you've got the next one on your list the same as I have.
Okay, it's the BMW Z3.
That wasn't next on my list, but it is on my list. Yes, from GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, an utterly pointless vehicle that is there purely for product placement. It serves no purpose in the story. It's an awful car, and it's utterly forgettable.
Yep.
Yes.
Just take that one as read now, shall we?
We just summed that up quite neatly. Yes, absolutely. Borne out, of course, by the fact that James May had one, didn't he, in their Jerusalem adventure that Top
Oh,
Gear did.
it did not fare well, did it?
It did not fare well.
Wasn't it head gasket or something like that?
Oh, all kinds of things went wrong with it. Yeah, it was breaking down all the time. It
Oh,
was.
and he had an auto as well, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Really long geared auto, which
That's right.
struggled with the hills.
Yes, I believe he said of the gearbox, many are called, but few are chosen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is not a good sales pitch for it.
No, no. I mean, they look okay if you're looking for that sort of thing, but you're better off with a Mazda MX-5.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I mean,
The-
you're better off with a Mazda MX-5 in many situations.
well,
To be fair.
the only thing in Z3 territory I would even remotely consider is the Z3M Coupe.
Yes. Those have quite a following.
Yes, but that's too far removed from Bond cars, and they're too far removed because of their price.
Yes, that has no place in this discussion, but it's a valid point. If you were looking for a Beamer of about that sort of size and shape, then yes.
And if you desire a Z3 badge on it, that's the one to buy. Otherwise,
that is the only one to buy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, be gone.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
okay.
What is next? Now we've glossed over that.
We're shifting gear here.
Go on then.
Quite dramatically, but again, when you said this is a perfectly valid, affordable Bond car, but you probably wouldn't want it, this fits squarely into that category. In fact, I would say you definitely wouldn't want it.
What you're saying? I definitely won't want it.
Neither would I.
Okay, I'll be the judge of that.
Will you?
Yep.
I think I'm right.
Go on then.
The Citroen 2CV from For Your Eyes Only.
You see, there's a part of me that would be interested.
No, there isn't.
It's not a hard no from me.
Oh my word! I'm shocked.
The only thing is though, the thing that would tempt me the most is quite an early one, which doesn't really fit with the film.
Yes, because the film. The film one is obviously it's an 80s one, so yeah, very different. I mean, they made them for so long, didn't they?
They did, yes.
So many different flavors. You would look a fur-lined, ocean-going, royal class tit in one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily. It's not top of my list or anything like that. There's something about the simplicity that appeals. In the same way a Renault 4 appeals. I think it's just a good basic car. Yeah, it's got its utilitarian nature. I like that.
Yeah, that appeals to you. Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, if it's a Bond car list, I'm buying a 7 Series, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm not buying a 2CV.
If you have to buy one of them, it's not going to be that.
No, but I've got a bit of time for it. There you go. That's as gushing as I'll get. I've got some time for it.
We'll try and gloss over that then. I mean, Bonds did get a bit bent, obviously.
And Citroen did in fact sell a 007 special edition, complete with bullet hole stickers.
Bullet holes in it. They did. That's very true. Yes, they did.
Finding one of those.
Citroen made quite a thing of it. Yeah, absolutely. Find one of those if you can. Yeah, indeed. It was an interesting choice for what is otherwise a much more serious film. It was a much straighter style than what we'd seen from Roger Moore up to that point. Apart from that sequence.
Are we both going to agree and say the best Roger Moore film?
Yes, it's my
Yeah, okay.
favorite of
Yeah,
his.
okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it is
yeah.
the best. He preferred The Spy Who Loved Me, but
It's also strong.
it is also strong. I really like For Your Eyes Only. It's that and Octopussy are my two favorites of his.
Yeah, I mean, and
Um,
we can probably unanimously agree that Moonraker is right at the bottom
oh yeah. Mm.
when it comes to Mr. Moore and space shuttles.
Oh
Pew
yeah.
pew.
Although I do have a car from Moonraker, but we'll come on to that later.
Oh,
Um,
that's fine. Okay,
but the 2CV is absolutely an affordable Bond car. He drove it himself.
he did. He
Um,
insisted.
he insisted, yes, go backwards, forwards quickly. And yes, it played quite a role in the movie. And
We all remember it, so yeah,
how could you forget? Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Love
very
driving the
good.
country.
Yes, I know. Oh God, yeah. You just look back and go, that really did spoil it a bit, didn't it?
Yes. Yes, it did. And as I say, it's a weird sequence in an otherwise much darker film.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, mind you, there is the appearance of a certain prime minister. Well, not her really.
right at the very end. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, Mr. Bond, really?
yes.
Yes.
That's give us a kiss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that.
does. Yeah,
Well, it's all right. The tension had been broken at that point. It's fine.
yeah, very much so. Yeah, yeah. Again, we had. I mean, they did in terms of the casting in that one. They did it generally quite well. In the villains are the same age as Bond, so it kind of works.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Very nice.
the
Yeah.
female interest is getting a little bit creepy in places, but um, in terms of the villains, I think you could, yeah, they were quite well matched. I thought in that, which helps a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, we are digressing somewhat from the cars. The Lotus Turbo Esprit, of course, does not feature on
That's
this list.
not for us.
No,
Can't have it.
no, indeed. The villain's Mercedes. Was it an S class? Was it an early S class? I forget now.
My goodness
Um,
me.
I'm gonna have to look that up now.
You're asking many things now.
I am, aren't I? And having not done my research, here we go. It was no, it wasn't. It was just a 200D. It was a base spec 200D, which, given
Okay.
that they threw it off a cliff, is probably reasonable.
Of course, yeah. He chucked the pin and gave him a kick, didn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
You left this with Ferrara, I believe. Yes, and then kicks him off the cliff, which apparently Roger Moore had huge problems with. He didn't want to do it. He felt it wasn't very Roger Moore Bond, but
I think. Well,
they
it's
insisted.
probably not, but it made for a most excellent film because because of the sinister elements.
Yeah, I think it worked extremely well. Yeah,
Mm.
he had no head for heights.
There you go.
There you go. But it was just a lowly 200D. It wasn't anything,
Nothing fancy.
nothing fancy. That you could probably argue. You could probably get one of those actually without too much fuss.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it's not going to be pence, but yeah, you'd probably be all right.
It's probably not going to be silly money, but Bond never went in it or drove it or anything like that. He just kicked it off the cliff. So shot the windscreen and then kicked it over the cliff. So
This is
yeah,
true.
that doesn't
This
count.
is
But
very true.
anyway, moving on.
Okay. Here's another one that I'm not convinced you'd want one of these, but I wouldn't say no,
Uh-huh.
just for security reasons. And it's one we all love. The Renault 11.
Again, on my list. Yes. Yes, that's a strong choice. From A View to a Kill. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd prefer a whole one if I was going to have one though.
Yeah, it did get a bit divided up, didn't it? Yeah.
Doesn't suggest that the build quality is tip top, does it?
It doesn't, does it? No, because it didn't hit it that hard. No. No, absolutely. I'm just having a look, see if there are any for sale. And I'm drawing a blank. Not a one.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, not a one. Let's.
What if we head over to France and check their lovely, lovely website?
Look, the country's just got the one website.
No, the one I'm thinking of is Le Bon Coin.
Oh, okay.
They sell many things.
Do they? Okie dokie. See if there's one on there then.
Yep, there you go. None of them are in tip-top state, but there are some on there.
Yeah.
So you would have to go to France, but there are some.
Well, we had to go to Italy for the Alpha GTB6, so
yes. So no, we're fine.
And for sensible money.
Yes, I think this is just to make it appear in listings. Ah, yes, there you go. It's going to cost you €1,280.
Oh well, I think we can definitely say that's affordable.
It's not in tip-top condition for that money, and my French isn't brilliant. I think that's the French equivalent of spares and repairs.
Okay, spares. Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
Oh no, I've gone down the rabbit hole slightly. There's a working one for €2,500.
Oh, there we go then. Yes, there we go.
That's lovely.
That'll do.
Right, no, move away.
Move away before you click buy. Yes.
Very good.
Very good. Right. It isn't used for long in the movie, and it does get fairly smashed up. But,
no, but again, we all remember it.
Yeah, we all remember it, and Bond did himself drive it. Yes,
absolutely. He did. Don't worry about where the fuel tank is. Let's.
Yeah, well, at least it's a front-wheel drive car. They didn't ignore that.
Yeah, this is true.
Yes. Oh, there'd have been enough in the system just to get him a bit, be fine.
You reckon?
I'm stretching.
Yeah. Get him halfway across bloody Paris on that.
Yes.
Long pipes in that at the front.
Long pipes. Yeah, absolutely. I don't believe he made one of his silly quips about that car either.
He was concentrating.
He was, yeah. Trying to catch up with Grace Jones there. Yeah.
There's that pervy thing you're on about.
Yeah, very, very bad in that film.
Yes. Yeah, not good. Not
good in that at all, no. Really quite disturbing, especially at the end.
The shower.
That is not so. Shall we move on?
Yes, let's do that.
I'm going back to Mr. Connery, because we're much safer with that.
Yes, not a pervert.
No. I'm going back to Mr. Connery, and I'm going right back to the beginning of Bond here.
Got him.
And I am choosing the Sunbeam Alpine from
Yeah, you get away with that. The
first Bond car.
Well, again, it's not pence, but they're not obscene.
No, not at all. Ranging from sort of $2,000 to $4,000 up to about 15, 16.
Yeah, that's within the realms of sensible.
Ones. So yeah, I think you could have one of those without too much fuss and bother. Yeah. They're all the ones I'm currently seeing advertised a little bit later. The one obviously in Dr. No would have been in 1962, but there's a few around, so that's definitely doable.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good choice.
I don't know anything about them.
No,
but funny little British sports car, aren't they?
That it just looks cool. That's half of it, isn't it? I think they're on their way to a funeral.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, you didn't quite get the accent on that, but
I'm not going to try it. I think that was on purpose.
Funeral. Yes.
Going to come out of it looking like a dick.
Yeah. I don't think we should go there. No. No.
No. Let's not be daft.
Let's move it on.
Yes. Right. Here's one that I thought of from, let's say, a weak film, and a villain vehicle actually as well.
Okay.
But a vehicle that can be had sensibly priced-ish. Jag XK.
Now, yeah. Yeah, I don't have that on my list actually, although I did think of it. It's technically an XKR in the film.
Technically, yes. Again, you wonder whether it actually was, but
Yes, indeed. I have. Yeah, I mean, I've looked at those. They're not silly money. They're more expensive than the XK8, but yeah, that's a solid choice. It was quite a late one in Die Another Day.
oh yeah, it had some trimmings. I mean, more than rockets and things.
Yeah, it had all sorts of gubbins on that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the only thing is, it's like, well, it does have well, it's not technically a Bond car because it was villains, and it's associated with the film that we all don't want to be associated with.
Yeah, that would possibly rank even lower than Moonraker, actually.
Yeah,
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 it could.
because we discussed the other day, actually, off podcast, didn't we? That you think when you think back about Moonraker, yeah, I believe you said it that the first sort of half, 2/3 is actually quite a
Yeah,
good film.
the first half of the film is not bad. Yeah, it all goes wrong at the end. The first
Mm,
half isn't bad. It changes styles halfway through,
yes,
um, quite dramatically, and it's okay up to
so the
him sort
boat
of
chase,
arriving
really.
in the boat chase. Yeah, when he arrives in South America.
Yeah.
Up to that point, yeah, it's okay. After that, yeah,
Yes. Pew pew.
all goes a
Yeah.
little bit wrong. Yes.
A little bit shit.
Yeah.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
Oh God. It's a shame because they actually had a really strong actor playing the villain in that.
Oh, a bit of Michael Lonsdale there.
Michael Lonsdale, a wonderful actor. And again in the first half of the movie, really strong.
Positively sinister.
Yeah. Look after Mr. Bond. See that some harm comes to him.
Yes. Oh, and oh my goodness. Yes, pushing the boundaries of sexual politics. We're going, a woman?
Yes.
Oh, for the love of God.
Your powers of observation do you credit, Mr. Bond. Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
dear.
bad. That's
Yeah.
really bad in that film because he does it over and over again. Every time that character comes on screen, he's making some remark. It's really bad.
It's not good, is it? I know
No.
it's of an age, but my God.
Yeah, but he didn't do it in earlier films.
I
I mean,
know.
in the previous film, he's teamed up with a female Russian spy. He
This is
doesn't make
true.
any of those comments. She's very
No,
much an equal in the story.
this is true. I mean, you're never going to piss off a Russian, but
This is true, and she had already threatened to kill him when she found out he shot her boyfriend.
well, she
But
promised to kill him.
she did, and then yeah, he got his thing out. And anyway,
Champagne.
yeah, that's it. Yes. However,
Keeping the British end up, sir. Oh dear.
it's bad. But yeah, no, the sexism in Moonraker is really really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, really terrible. But I have to say, it's a film of two halves. It does go wrong. Anyway, we've digressed somewhat from the XKR in Die Another Day. That is a strong choice, sir.
Yes, there we go. Bring it back. There we go.
Yes,
Nicely
yes,
done.
recovered the podcast there. We were about to spin off into a ditch. Although I do have a Moonraker selection.
Do it.
Do it, sir. It is a car that appears in two Bond films, not the same one. But Bond only travels in it in Moonraker, and that is the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow.
Oh, yes, he does travel in that, doesn't he?
He does. He is chauffeured from the airport to his hotel in one. And there is also one in License to Kill, but I don't think Bond himself ever goes in it.
Not. Don't know. Not behind the wheel, certainly.
No, I would have to check on that. Actually, I'm not 100% confident, but there's
No.
one there. Certainly, I think Q is using it at one point.
I get a feeling actually that he may have taken a trip from the hotel to the bank. in it.
That's a possibility. Yes, chauffeured in it. Oh, and
Yes.
in fact, there's one in For Your Eyes Only as well that Bond is chauffeured in Silver Shadow,
Oh, is there?
because when he goes back with Mrs. Brosnan to
Of course, yeah, it's her car, isn't it?
it's
Yes.
her car. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, you're
yes.
right.
That's a Silver Shadow as well. So it actually appears a few times. Now those are definitely affordable if you're not too picky.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they can be a little rough around the edges,
Mm.
as Harry well knows.
Yes, Harry well know. I mean, he got his for about 4 grand on eBay. You
Yeah,
you can
and
pick up a Shad for not a lot of money, and although the bodywork goes mechanically, they're fairly solid.
yeah, they're fairly, I mean, they're quite agricultural, really.
Yeah, they are. They're not. Yeah, they're not as clever as you might expect. Yeah, they're quite. But they're because of that, they're quite rugged.
Yeah, and you
Um,
think the suspension, if you scratch off all the roll stickers, they're essentially Citroen.
it's Citroen, isn't it? It uses the same oil-filled
All the
sphere
spheres and all that, yeah.
setup, doesn't it? That
Yeah.
came from the Citroen DS. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, mechanically they're fairly well bulletproof, but ooh, they do rust. So
Yes.
you can have one for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
It will probably need a little bit of work. You're probably buying a little bit of a mild restoration project, but
Yep.
you can have a running and driving Silver Shadow for not a lot of money. So
Mm.
I
Solid
absolutely
advice.
absolutely belong on this list. They appear numerous times.
So are you saying, was that actually on your list, or is that just a late entry while
No,
we're
no, that was
discussing?
on my list. That was
Okay,
on my
that's
list.
fine.
Yes,
That's
yes,
fine.
indeed was on my
Okay.
list.
Did you say you had another one Moonraker related? Or was that
No,
or
no, that's what I was
that
referring
was the
to.
one? Right,
Yeah,
okay, that's
yeah,
fine. Getting myself muddled. Right,
yes.
okay.
My
May
list is in no particular order.
may I bring it slightly more modern?
Ooh, you may.
And Daniel Craig
I think I know what this is going to be.
in a lovely Mondeo.
Ah, the Mark IV Mondeo. Yes,
Mm. Although
yes.
his was a prototype, wasn't it? It wasn't
I
a
have heard
finished one.
tell. I have heard tell that it was a prototype and it wasn't entirely finished, and there was some wood holding some of the doors on. Yes.
It's fine, but it looked the part.
It certainly did. It hadn't been released at that point yet.
That's right. Yep.
And of course, Ford,
Oh
um,
my God, owned everything and every.
everything. They
Was
own
it
Jaguar, Aston Martin,
Land Rover?
Land Rover.
And funnily enough, that's the only things in the car park
Yeah,
at the club in
we've
Nassau. There,
we've touched on this before. You
we
look
have
at that car
indeed.
park in Nassau. Every single car, we've got Range Rovers of every variety: Jag X Type, S Type, XJ, XK. Everything the company makes is in that
Mm.
car park.
And well, maybe they've got the monopoly in the Bahamas. We just don't know.
We just don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe every vehicle there, but they also Montenegro, it seems, suffers from the same problem.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Enough about.
XJs everywhere.
Mm. Oh dear! And even the old vehicle that transports them from the train station to the hotel is a Daimler.
Is a Daimler. Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
good
Yes.
heavens!
It is just wall to wall Ford branding there,
Mm.
isn't it? It's everywhere. And the fact that he drove the new Mondeo to the hotel, which we presume is a hire car. So you sort of say, well, that's probably fair enough. If he's
Mm.
gone to the hire desk at the airport and said, what have you got? A Mondeo is not unreasonable. It's what that car park at the hotel is stocked with that's the issue.
Yes, I mean I know it's a fancy hotel and club and all that, but you've
Not
got to think if they're all that rich, there's a good chance you can have some Ferraris and Porsche in the car park there, surely.
not
Che-
while the not while the Ford
Cheeky
marketing
Bentley
executive
kicking about. Yeah.
not while the Ford marketing executive is on site. You're not.
Oh my God! I mean, while we praise Casino Royale for what it did to the franchise,
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful film. Yeah,
we have to give them a slap round the head for what they did with product placement and that. It
it's
wasn't
bad.
just the cars;
It was everything.
it was
Everything.
the one bit that really made me want to puke was again at the club where he breaks in to look at the CCTV footage, and he pulls out a Blu-ray that's been recorded on from the shelf and opens the very carefully positioned Sony Blu-ray player and
Yes.
positions the disc in the tray just so that you can see every bloody label on the Sony disc.
Oh, absolutely.
Just piss off.
Oh, the money they'll have paid to have that done. Oh, yeah. But it's all over. I mean, the watches as well.
The watch is
The
that's
scene on the
different
train. The scene on the train. It is different. Yes.
because we chaps like us of a certain age, we desire an expensive watch.
True. There's something special about that. Yeah.
That's fine. We will happily lust over that and pour research into which one to buy. However, it's wasted when you go, please buy this Sony Blu-ray player. Couldn't give a shit. I will buy the cheapest Blu-ray player. I don't care.
Yes, it's a fair point.
You go, oh yeah, but that's the one that Bond uses. Couldn't give a shit.
I have to admit something here.
Oh God, what have you bought?
No, not recently. At the time, I did buy the same mobile phone that Bond uses in that, the Sony Ericsson.
Yeah, Christ.
So,
oh no.
I didn't have it. I didn't have it long, and it was replaced with an iPhone 3. But I did buy the phone.
Oh God.
Sorry.
When you started drinking beer, did you buy lots of Heineken?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
no, I didn't. No, I didn't, and I didn't buy an Amiga Seamaster because I couldn't afford it.
No, it's too much.
Yeah, it is. But they got Rolex mentioned as well, even though that's not the watch he was wearing.
No, I've said this to you before. A Rolex is too crass for Bond.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Rolex is the thug's watch.
I know this is probably going to get people shouting, but a Rolex is the expensive watch you buy when you don't know about expensive watches.
Yes.
You buy it because you've come into some money.
Yeah, and you think, what shall I get? Oh, a Rolex sounds good. Yeah. Amiga is the thinking man's choice, I'm afraid. Yeah.
And if, mind you, if the thinking man has bottomless pits for pockets, he'll get a Patek Philippe.
Yeah, fair enough. Bond actually has worn a Rolex in the early novels. I believe he wore a Rolex.
I think you're right, but never on screen.
No. It's always been Amiga.
It's early doors, yeah.
But I think Casino Royale, there's been lots of close-ups of Bond's watch over the years. I mean, he's had a Casio and a Sanyo as well. But
sheer magnetism, darling.
Yes.
Sorry.
That was an Amiga.
That was. I just had to get that in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, in Casino Royale, it was so upfront. The fact that, she asked him, I think, what did she say? Owned your watch, Rolex, Omega. To have Bond actually say the name of how many millions of pounds did they pay to have that done?
I'm willing to bet they sold some watches off the back of that, because I'm correct in thinking there was a watch tie-in with that. There was a Casino Royale.
There was a
special edition.
There was a Bond version of it, yes, which I believe had 007 logos on the sort of background of the face. I'm sure that has a name. But anyway, we have digressed somewhat from the cars, but yes,
it's fine.
The product placement in that was not limited to the cars, for sure. Yes.
And not subtle.
Oh, God, no. Absolutely not. I don't think there's a scene in the movie that doesn't contain a car of some sort.
No, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Everywhere. However,
another car. Here we go.
Another car.
Right. I'm going villainous.
Isn't it? It's my turn, isn't it?
I don't know. No, you did. You did Moonraker, didn't you?
Yeah, and then you did the Mondeo.
Okay, no, you are absolutely correct. I'll wind my neck in. Your turn.
Hang on, I'm not being brushed aside like that. However, my next choice is a Jaguar. Now, Bond hasn't been behind the wheel of many Jags. He's been in a few,
Mhm.
but my next one he was actually behind the wheel of, and again we're sticking with the Daniel Craig era, and it's the Jaguar XJL from Skyfall,
Oh yes.
M's
Yeah.
car,
Yep.
a 2010, I believe, black long wheelbase XJ, and Bond does get behind the wheel of that when he sort of kidnaps M. And takes her to his dodgy lockup where he's got the DB5, which we assume has been tucked away in there since 1962, but is absolutely mint.
Yeah, you couldn't claim that as a barn find. It's pristine.
1964, sorry. No,
Yes.
65.
Well, yeah.
65, because it was last seen in Thunderball.
Yes, very correct.
Very correct. If we're sticking to the timeline, which of course Casino Royale doesn't. Um,
No, no,
it
don't,
makes
don't,
no sense chronologically at all.
don't even bother trying to figure that out.
No, it doesn't work on any level.
Nope.
But the XJL, yeah, it's seen in a number of scenes with the glorious Judi Dench,
Lovely
and
lady.
lovely lady, and yeah, I think works really well in
Yes.
that film. And those can be had for, you can get one of those exactly the same spec as the one in the movie for 5-6 grand now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's again a lot of car.
Oh, enormous, especially the long wheelbase version. They are vast.
Oh yeah, you can't park that.
No, they're huge
Mm,
vehicles, but they've got some presence to them.
mm,
Very imposing, especially in black.
definitely.
Big old beast. So um, now that's not the only XJ that Bond has been in. So I
Are we?
could lump the two together.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're about to lump in the one that we touched on.
Yes, that's
As
on my list.
that's
Yes,
correct. Yes.
the previous generation XJ Sport Premium from Spectre, which is, we assume, is M's personal car.
Yes.
The new
Yep.
M, of course, Ray Fiennes, and
Mm,
it gets absolutely mullered.
it
But
does. And while we're on the topic, I think this is quite a tangent, but 8.5 make a good M.
oh, brilliant! Not
I
since Bernard Lee
I
have
just,
have we had an M like that. Yes.
I tell you what. Actually, the one thing that really just excited me at the end of Skyfall,
Mm.
when we go to M's office, how visually reminiscent is that office of the early ones?
Oh yeah, I mean that's obviously deliberate, isn't it? But yeah,
But
the
it
panelled walls and the portraits and the leather bound
door,
volumes.
oh,
Yeah.
and the door, the as
Yes.
well. Yes, yeah.
The
Oh,
double door with the leather
yeah.
padded front. Yeah, I mean it's clearly been done very carefully to be a replica of the early M's office. Yeah, and that's, you ready to get back to work, 007?
Mm.
Yes.
It just pleased me enormously. That was.
It's brilliant. Yeah, he is such a good M. I agree.
Mm.
Um,
And I
Not to
tell you
take
what.
anything away from what Judi Dench did
No,
with it,
not at all.
because
No,
that
that
was
she
brilliant as
put her
well.
own spin on that,
Yeah,
most definitely.
yeah.
But I just thought, I mean, it's really difficult because you think back over the years, and poor old Mr. Fiennes
Mm.
has been in some films that are a bit shit.
Yes, he's one of those that you do wonder. You look at some of them in his canon, and you say, "Yeah, you did that for the money, didn't you?"
Yeah, you look back and go, my God,
That one
that's
was to pay off the mortgage, wasn't it? You didn't bother about reading the script much.
the one that really annoyed the piss out of me. I mean, uh, I'm sure you'll agree. The Avengers,
Oh God,
awful,
awful, awful, awful. Yeah,
and yep,
yeah,
absolute turd. But then,
absolutely terrible.
but then he's also been in some absolute and utter gems as well.
Yeah.
He was. Do you remember he was the villain in Bruges? Harry,
He was. You're right.
and
Yeah.
he was hilarious in that.
Yeah, it's true.
He was terrifying, but with just so much comedy.
Yeah.
Ah,
He can go either way, can't he? And has done in his career. He's done some real corkers and some real
yeah.
rubbish.
That,
Um,
that particularly that in Bruges, there was a part of it that absolutely ruined me. The first time we watched it, I had to stop the film because
really?
uh, he took a phone call and it wasn't the outcome that he wanted, and spent the conclusion of the phone call smashing it to bits. And his wife bellows at him, "What are you doing? It's an inanimate object." To which he replies, "You're an inanimate fucking object." And that was it. That was
Oh,
enough
you
for
were
me.
gone.
Gone. What a perfect comeback.
Yeah.
I couldn't process that. That was too much for
It
me.
was it's too much information
It
going in
was
too fast.
it
Yes.
was not complicated humour by any stretch, but that ruined me.
That was you were gone there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes a line will hit you like that.
He
He is
was
very good, and I think what he's done with M is amazing. He's
yeah,
really um
fantastic.
he's got the military bearing that M always had.
Hmm.
And the way that Bond, thinks he's a total knob when he first meets him, and then
Right.
you know they they grow to really respect each other in time. And
Mm.
yeah, I think it's really good. And actually choosing a black older XJ for that character's personal car is spot on.
Yeah, some good casting of the vehicle there.
And it's not an XJR. That's too obvious. It's the Sport. It's just a little bit
Yes.
toned down. It's not the big supercharged V8 version. It's the turbocharged diesel, and it's just right. It's just the right model.
No, you're right. It's perfection, really.
I think so.
He
And the fact that
was
it's not the current model, it's like
yeah.
sort of, it's like it's a 10-year-old car that, you assume he's had for, forever. And it's just kind of,
That's right.
yeah,
You can
it's
you
just
can
right.
imagine the conversation of going, "Do you want a new car?" I go, "No, that one's perfectly fine."
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly that. Nothing wrong with this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. No, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes. You're up.
Okay. Here I come. Right. Remember what I said? Villainous vehicle, this one. But we're back to A View to a Kill, and Jenny Flex and her Renault Fuego.
Oh, strong choice there. That's not on my list.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. That is a strong choice. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, regardless of that, the Bond connections of Fuego's a lovely thing. They
Are
really got
you
that right.
sure that's affordable?
I don't know.
I'm
I,
gonna.
I I would have to say good luck finding one
I'm
without
gonna.
even researching this.
Yeah. I'm going in. If I
Right.
can spell it. Yeah. There we go. I've got nothing.
Nothing. No. Okay.
Yeah. No,
God.
there's some really good pictures that I keep zooming in on, and they turn out to actually be really detailed scale models. But they look good. They look real for a minute. Oh, let's see. Let's see. There's one. I found one.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. I've headed back to Le Bon Coin.
Okay. No, this one's in the UK. This is UK registered.
Oh, go on then.
Um,
How
it's in
much?
it's in Burnley. Very rare Renault Fuego 3 Turbo in black. Fantastic order. So running and driving MOT taxed. It's a really good one. 12 grand. And
That's not too bad, is it?
that's
I
a
mean,
classified ad as well. So that's the real price.
I've
Mm,
found one. Should you want to travel to France? Basically the same model you just described, actually.
okay.
So this is yep, Renault Fuego Turbo. It's a 1984,
Okay. I'm trying to see when
and
this one is.
and this is
This is an
9.
82.
Okay, so well, they're all thereabouts.
Yeah.
So this is €9,900 and in wonderful condition.
Yeah, this one. I say black with this one's right-hand drive, of course. This is a UK car.
Mm.
Black with a grey and red velour interior. This one's
But
in
are
really
you
good
getting
shape.
grey and red in this one?
This one has done. He does not say what the mileage is.
Okay, this one is 145,000 kilometers, and my French. Oh God, I'm gonna. Vehicle is in very good condition in general. Vehicle has been looked after by a Renault specialist. I think that means.
Okay.
Mileage genuine. Future collector's car, and comes with a 6-month warranty.
Okay.
Wow,
This
I tell you what, my school French really is all right.
That's all right. That your schoolboy French has done you well there. This one is at a dealer. It has been the subject of a restoration. It's been resprayed. The interior is original. Truly iconic car. Blah blah blah. Yeah, run it. It's MOT taxed, ready to go. I'm just going to do an MOT check on it and see
Mm-hmm.
if I can get the mileage.
Oh, is it going to be a good one?
It has done 83,000 miles. That is nothing
83,000 miles. Wow.
for 1982. It has.
Wow, that comes out at 133,500 kilometers. So really not that different to the one I found
We've
there.
got two very equally matched there. However, prices on both sides of the channel very reasonable.
And both the ones we looked at there were turbo, so they are
Yes.
sort of range topping there. So
Fuego 3 Turbo. Yeah, this one says it is the top of the range with all options on it. Yeah.
So there we go. So there's room for maneuver in a downward direction there.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. If you can find one that maybe needs a little bit of work, you could be well below 10 grand for one of those now. Yeah.
And
But
you would not see another one.
no, you wouldn't. They're not plentiful. No.
No.
This one is absolutely lovely, I have to say.
You forget how good of a design that was.
Oh, such a good design. Yeah, this one's got the lovely lattice alloys on it as well.
Oh, it's dirty.
Dirty little thing. Yes. It's headlamp washers. Oh,
Oh my.
yes. With the little blades. Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Oh, and it's got yellow spotlights. How very French.
Okay, right. Are you ready for this?
Oh, go on then.
In the UK, how many Renault Fuego turbos have tax and MOT in this country as of Q4 2020?
You've gone on to how many left, haven't you?
I have.
It's not going to be many. Less than 10, I would
Correct.
say. Yes.
There are 6 Renault Fuego turbos road legal in this country,
Blimey.
according to this, obviously.
Really well. One of them is on eBay.
Yeah.
One of the 6.
There are supposedly a further 20 registered as Sawn.
Right. Okay. But they could be rust buckets.
More than likely.
Yes. Wow.
However,
that is a rare old. But for 12 grand to get that kind of rarity.
However, browsing through the French ones, while I'm not going to go as far as to say plentiful, there's actually a selection.
There will be more in France, won't there? I mean, there's bound to be.
I have one page of results, and they're not all turds.
Right. Okay. They're all going to be left-hand drive, of course.
They are, but I could look past that for one of these. They look absolutely stunning design.
Yeah.
It's the rear window, I think.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. It's a really good package.
Yeah, they were having a good day.
They were. Well, not out of reach.
Nope. So there we go. That's small consumer advice.
Despite the rarity, that's interesting. You don't often find a car as rare as that is available for that kind of money. Not a decent car, obviously. Some cars are rare for a reason.
Yeah. Do you think that, particularly in this country, do you think it's too rare? Do you think that's
In
affected its value?
possibly, I suspect what it is, and I think a lot of people have forgotten about them.
Yeah, I genuinely think I don't think at the time they were on sale, I don't think there would have been enough of them
No,
to register in general consciousness.
I think it's one of those cars that people have just forgotten about,
Hmm.
and everybody will know it if you showed them a picture of it. Do you remember this? Oh yeah, they used
Oh
to be
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
But if you were to say it never appears on anybody's, must-have classics.
quite.
Um, I think people have forgotten about them, and yeah, interesting. I mean, the fact that there are so few in the UK is amazing,
Mm, yeah,
and the fact that you could have a car with that rarity for
but
that kind of money.
I suppose you have to think back to the time those would have been on sale. It's it's like anything at the time we had a national car industry.
True.
Pe- People more often than not bought cars from the country they were in.
Yes.
Because you see that even today when you drive on the continent. When you go to France, there are a lot of French vehicles.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whereas we have variety here because we don't have that car industry anymore, really.
No,
There's
that's
certainly no
probably fair to
native
say.
brands anyway.
No, that's probably fair to say.
So yeah, that will go to some way of going, well, why there probably weren't a huge amount sold anyway, and why there's only 6 left now.
There's only 6 left. Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm.
And the fact that the only one that is for sale in the UK at the moment is an absolutely mint example, but it's only 12 grand.
It's a good.
It is a good. That's a strong choice. I didn't have that on my list.
Mm.
Absolutely affordable and very special. Yeah, good
Yep,
choice. Good choice.
I like that. Go on then. What have you got left?
Oh, I'm going down to a completely different place now.
Go on then.
I'm taking us to a whole other place of weirdness here, and we're going with the Leyland Sherpa van
Oh,
from The
that's
Spy Who Loved Me.
the cylinder head gasket.
Yeah.
Yes. That, you
Oh,
think, look, that's the only thing that's wrong with it, is it?
it's a
Yes.
bit bent by the time they're finished with it.
Mm. It's a miracle that
You like me?
Richard Keel ever got behind the wheel of that.
Oh, I think it must have needed some serious modification. It can't have had a driver's seat in it.
Because we see him in it, but I don't know if we could actually say we see him driving it.
No, you're probably right. I mean, his head is up. I mean, he's looking down on the windscreen. He's pressed into the ceiling. I mean, there can't have been a driver's seat.
It does raise a question of what car did he actually drive in his day-to-day existence?
Some sort of lorry, I expect.
There's no room for him.
No, that was yeah, absolutely a strange choice.
I tell you what, there's a real sinister bit of me that would have said, wouldn't it be nice to see him sat in a Suzuki Cappuccino?
Now you know the rule. Never drive a car that you are taller than it is long.
What do you think on a scale? How much of him was sticking out?
Oh, quite a bit. I've heard the wonderful Ed China talk about this, because obviously he's quite a big fella, and he's always said he's had to choose his cars largely based on what he can fit into rather than any other criteria, which is why he's had so many Range Rovers,
Yes.
because it's one of the few cars he can comfortably get in.
I mean, the prospect of Richard Keel sitting in a Suzuki Cappuccino, I would think you could see his waistband above the windscreen line.
I suspect you, but he was an enormous guy.
He's a big lad.
He'd be steering with his belly button. Yeah, that'd be bad. That'd be bad. But I think even the Sherpa van, like you say, that he'd have been a squeeze.
He didn't look comfy.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But nevertheless, I'm struggling to actually find one to prove whether it's affordable, but I think I'd be fairly
I think you're
certain that it is.
fairly safe that it's affordable because it's not particularly desirable.
It's no one wants one.
No.
Nevertheless, Bond was in it.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, he was a passenger, wasn't he? He didn't.
No, she drove it, didn't she? Barbara
Yeah.
Batch drove it. Yeah, that's right. And he made a couple of remarks. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a woman.
Yeah.
And-
Women drivers. Yes.
Oh dear.
And that was a bit spent by the time they were finished with it.
Not strictly her fault.
No, no.
But I'd
Ford had to
imagine,
go at remodeling it. Yeah.
yeah, to be honest, a Leyland Sherpa would have overheated and blown its head gasket in a damp, cold England, let alone driving across a desert.
Oh, yeah. Even if it would been absolutely pristine, fresh from the factory, they would never have made it where they were going.
No,
No,
no, no, no.
no, certainly not.
Right. What else have we got? Because my list has dwindled. My brain's gone foggy. So
I've got one more.
Go
I've
on
got
then.
one more, and it is on the bounds of affordable,
Right. Okay.
but it's a good one.
Go on then.
It's a good one, and it's the Mustang Mach 1 from Diamonds Are Forever.
Okay. Yeah. I think there's enough of them about for it to be.
Between 10 and 20 grand will get you quite
Yeah.
a decent one. Yeah. They haven't
Yeah.
gone silly price wise.
They haven't. I suppose it's not. It's not the most desirable Mustang in the world, is it?
Not at all. No, not at
I mean,
all.
it's not a Fox body by any stretch, but it's not.
We're not going there. No, absolutely not.
It's not. We're not from the '60s at this point.
No, we're not.
But
we're firmly in the 70s. And,
we are,
and they do have a certain coolness to them if you like that kind of brash American muscle car kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's. I do quite like it. I don't know if I'd want one, but I do.
No, I don't
quite
think
like
I'd
it.
want one, but I don't dislike it. I think it's a reasonably attractive car.
I think it's a bit of Steve Coogan casting there as well.
There's a bit of Steve Coogan casting, and of course was also the star of the original Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yes, that's right.
That was a Mach 1. So it's got some provenance to it in the movie world.
Yeah, and we all remember it in Diamonds Are Forever because of the way it goes in one way and pops out the other.
Yes, one of the biggest bloopers, one of the biggest cock-ups. Yes.
Somewhat of a little filming faux pas.
In Bond movie history. Yes, I can tell that story if the listener would be interested.
I
know what
so.
happened. I know what happened. They had this scene where Bond and Tiffany need to escape from the Las Vegas police, and they drive the car down an alley, and there's a narrow bit of alleyway, and Bond puts the car up on two wheels to get through the alleyway and come out the other end and escape the police. Well, the filming of it going into the alleyway was done by an American stunt team who did it with the car down on its passenger side, so the right hand side, so obviously left hand drive car.
That's right. Yeah.
So passenger down, driver up. That was how they did it. Fine.
Correct.
Got the sequence, no problem at all. In between that being filmed and the sequence of it coming out of the alleyway being filmed, which was actually in a different part of the city, the director, Guy Hamilton, had to fly back to England for some sort of family emergency. And Cubby himself took over the direction of the filming of that sequence.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the delay, it was a different stunt team. And it was a French stunt team who did the stunt the other way around, with the driver's side down and the passenger up. And they filmed it and got the shot. Lovely. Cubby was happy with that. He hadn't seen the rushes of the other end of it. And then when the director, Guy Hamilton, came back, and it was in the editing suite, and they'd got the two together, and he realised, oh no.
Bollocks.
They don't match.
Oh,
so he went to Cubby and said, we've got to do it again. They don't match. The car is the wrong way round coming out of the alleyway. Cubby said, "Well, we can't. We're moving locations. The stunt team's gone. They've flown back to France. It's going to cost a fortune. We can't do it again. We're running out of time. We're running out of money. We can't. You're going to have to do something with it." And so the solution they came up with was an insert shot done in the studio, a close up on
Oh,
Jill St. John and Sean Connery in the car, where they don't actually move the car, they move the camera to make it look like the car briefly goes back on all four wheels and then up again on the other two wheels. Which, of course, makes no sense, because if there was
none
room to do
whatsoever.
that, you could have driven through normally.
Yeah. As fixes go, that's really somewhat papering over some cracks really badly.
It was really bad. But, I mean, they thought of other things, like they could flip the film. But the problem is it's Las Vegas, and there's all the neon signs saying casino, and
Yep.
all of that would have been reversed. And yeah, it was just, filming in Las Vegas was a nightmare anyway. I mean, you look at any of the shots in that sequence, and the pavements
Lined
are
with people.
lined with people just staring at them.
Well, that's good, because they can't. No casino's going to shut and go, "Well, I'm not losing that money, you lunatic."
No, they couldn't do it. I mean, they did have, because Howard Hughes was very big property owner in Las Vegas at the time, and he was good friends with Cubby, but even he couldn't clear the streets, on a Saturday night for Cubby to film his movie. So, yeah, they had huge problems in Las Vegas, but that sequence with the Mustang, yeah, it was a mistake, and there was very little they could do about it. So it's in the movie.
Yes, definite boo boo there.
Yes.
Much like the wheel bouncing off later on with the moon buggy bit.
Off the moon buggy, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the three-wheeled moon buggy. Yeah, there were a lot of issues in that movie.
That's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
That was an issue, certainly, with that moon buggy. Again, was a nightmare. It kept breaking, it kept falling apart, hence the wheel bouncing across the scene. That is actually only visible on widescreen prints of the film, so that was invisible for decades until widescreen became a thing, and then everybody could see it again.
Well, oh, bollocks.
Oh, it's back. I thought we got away with that. But it's still one of my favorite films, actually, Diamonds Are Forever. I think it is a strong movie.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a good one. They had to. I mean, well, they thought in their eyes they had to hit back with something quite special, didn't they?
Yeah, well, after On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which at the time was a bit of a disaster, George Lazenby having left the series, yeah, they were concerned that they were killing the franchise, and they had to get Sean Connery back, and they paid an enormous sum of money. In fact, it was the largest fee that had ever been paid to any actor anywhere at that point. I think it was the equivalent of $1.2 million to come back for one more film. Plus, he had a deal with United Artists to make any two films that he wanted, pre-approved. Anything you want to do, we will finance two movies. Only one film was ever actually made under that deal, but yeah, they courted him for a long time and paid him an absolute fortune. But to his credit, he gave all of that money away. He used it to start the Scottish Education Trust, and he didn't keep a penny of it.
Yeah, fair play.
But he came back for the one, which gave them just enough time for Roger Moore to become available. So that worked out okay. But
well, that's it, and that lived on in other guys then, didn't it? So,
yeah, absolutely. But it's
all was well.
It's a good film. There is another affordable car in Diamonds Are Forever, of course, which is the Triumph Stag.
Ah, yes, which he does drive, but
which he does drive.
He does not own. That belongs to Peter Franks.
Yes, that's right. Indeed. And he drive. We see it going on the hovercraft when there were such things going across the channel.
Oh, you remember that, when you can go across the channel quite quickly.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Triumph Stag, yellow Triumph Stag.
Obviously, he didn't use it for particularly long because it will overheat.
Oh, absolutely. No, he just used it to get across the channel, and obviously he'll have had to abandon it in some back street in Amsterdam because that'll just be gone. But
Yeah,
again, affordable. You can get them for,
yeah,
I'm not going to say you're going to get a show car for less than 10 grand, but they're out there.
yeah. That's very good. I like that because he's been
Mm.
behind the wheel. It's not obscenely priced. It's very cool as well.
They're very cool.
Mm.
Yes, I have a friend who has one, and I have been in it, and
Oh, very good.
it's wonderful. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, I stole two places there in the list by mentioning the stag.
That's fine. You can steal away because I'd run out, so
Oh,
that's
you'd
fine.
run out. Oh, we go. Well,
Yeah.
then I think we're going to end on the Triumph Stag, which is a strong place to end such a
Yep.
list.
Well, that's good. But let's all head off to the various websites and go and find one.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.